What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 27 of the Cinematic Boys Reviews. Of course, today guys see, Sammy is back finally after I
What's
don't know how
going
many weeks.
on?
I think like 4 weeks. He's
It's
finally back.
been about a month,
Yeah, because the last episode you did with us was the Pearl episode.
which I'm grateful to be back. Had a lot
Yeah,
going
it's
on in
been
my
a
life,
month
and here
because
we are.
Pearl was released July 5th. So yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
month.
yeah. But I'm back and I'm ready to talk about. Go ahead, Dakota. Drum roll.
But before that, if you guys are wondering, Bilal is not here. He's out of town. And
Bilal is missed. Bilal.
And
We
I
want
think
you to
he's
come
glad he's
home.
not here for this episode because, of course, today, guys, we are doing Alien 3. If you guys heard the Aliens podcast,
Everyone loves this
what
movie.
Bilal said, Bilal was dreading this. He's like, I kind of don't want to do this episode.
But everyone loves this movie.
Who's they?
You know, the people.
I don't know what people. First of all, let me know down in the comments if you love Alien 3.
We really want to know.
Alien 3 by... I can understand why he didn't want his name off this movie now. David Fincher. I can understand
was this his directorial debut?
I think so. I think I know
what it was.
Double
check that. I think it was.
I'm like, why does he want his name off this movie? I watched it. Yeah, I understand why.
That was his debut. But then he had 7 3 years later. So he redeemed himself pretty quick.
No, you know I love. Before we even get to our reviews, hell, I'm not even gonna put spoiler free. We're just gonna go right into it when we talk about.
We just gotta go in. It's a rough movie, and I feel like it's for the sake of Alien 3. If you haven't seen Alien 3, you're welcome. Just watch the first 2, and then watch Prometheus right after. Just watch the first 2 and then Prometheus, and you're good.
How's Covenant?
No, Covenant too. I meant like Prometheus and then Covenant. You know what I'm saying? Like skip 3 and 4 and then go from there to watch the rest. Because
I normally recommend you guys go watch every single one of our reviews. No, don't go watch this. You can listen to the review.
Why is it awful? We gotta let them know.
Yes, you can listen to the review, get your own judgment, but I would not recommend to watch this. But I just want to really know how they make good Alien's really good. Then this movie is like, where the fuck did they go?
Well, it's said that Alien 3 also had like a really rough production overall, like with on-set conflicts, with development issues, and arguments between like cast members on like character decisions and moments, especially with Sigourney Weaver. But like, she overall, I would say, is the only good aspect of the movie for me. She still gives it her all, even with as weird of a movie as it is.
I think Fincher had a different idea for this movie. And when he was attached onto it, when he signed the contract for this movie, Fox told him, oh yeah, you're going to be making your movie. And once he got on set, they're like, oh yeah, we just fucking lied to you. You're not actually going to be making your movie. You're going to be making the movie we want.
And that happens. And it's just sad to see that happened with the third movie, especially when they were wanting to take more risks and go in on it more. But what are your thoughts on it, Dakota? Like overall, like specifics on it,
First of all, I don't like this movie. I'm just going to get that out there.
In case you didn't pick that up before.
For straight off the bat, Ripley protects Newt through the whole entire movie of Aliens, just so she can get killed off at the beginning of this. And Hicks too, I'm like, you had 2 great characters with Sigourney Weaver's Ripley and Aliens, and you just want to just kill them off. And first of all, they're in a maximum space prison when they crash. Where did the space prison come from? Like, they didn't even tell us how many years it was after Aliens, because they literally told us how many years it was from Alien to Aliens.
That's actually a really good point, because I feel like I don't know. I remember I felt like there was something about that, but I never saw it in the screening of like watching it. Like they never showed what year, how many
Like they
days.
want to mention
Like
it, but they don't.
yeah, you think even in dialogue they would have said something like, "Oh, you've been gone for like blah 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 months or like blah 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 years," and they don't say anything. It's just kind of like, "Okay, here she is."
And I'm just going to say this, and this was the second thing that it's the most uncomfortable scene I think I've ever had watching the movie. But it's when Ripley sees Newton in the morgue.
Yeah.
That was the most uncomfortable scene in my whole entire life watching it. And I
I
don't want to go into really detail because I don't know if this video will get taken down, so I don't really want to go in much
it's
detail about
yeah,
that.
it's definitely a weird scene. Um yeah, continue with what you were saying about the movie. Sorry.
Besides that, and if you guys are not like, if you guys look into that, I would just say go look it up. If you guys don't want to know what it is, but it's the most uncomfortable. I think it kind of like bothered me watching it a little bit. Like I'm a part of the thing that actually
It was
watched that part.
definitely yeah, it was a
It
rough
made me kind
viewing.
of like I want to fast forward. That's maybe the first time during a movie I want to actually like fast forward through a part in the movie.
And I don't know, it's such a weird movie cuz you watch it and the whole time you're thinking like this is what you wanted to do after Aliens. Like it doesn't feel like a natural sequel. It doesn't feel like it improves or does anything
You know what
new.
it feels like? It feels like they just like threw ideas at the wall.
Yeah, and it's they write decisions into the movie that I feel like affect the movie overall and kind of kill any interest in wanting to see anything new out of the movie. Like, for example, midway through the movie, whenever they decide to tell everybody that's watching that the prison has no weapons,
Oh my goodness,
and
that
Sigourney
pissed me off.
Weaver,
That
yeah,
really pissed me off.
and Sigourney's literally what the audience is saying. What? That makes no sense. Like, why
First of
would you
all,
not
you're
have
a
weapons in
maximum
a prison?
security prison. You're
There's
a
no
prison.
security. There's no security if you don't have weapons. Like,
Yeah,
what? Like, then you're not. Like, it made no sense. And then, second, now that tells me as an audience member that there's not going to be any flamethrowers, no guns,
there's no
no
action.
iconic. Yeah, there's literally all the iconic stuff that we've seen before or that could be added to further push the universe of Alien. Instead, now is just it's just like, okay, now they're gonna run and try to close doors and like outthink the alien, and that's interesting. And it's like it really isn't. It just bores the movie when it already has a terrible pace.
Another thing that I had a problem with is where was I going with this? It just said in my head. Um, through the last two movies, you had practical effects for the alien. Like they did some of this, but the CGI is so fucking terrible in this
It's
damn
weird.
movie.
It's a weird choice that they made to do both because it's very noticeable.
It's not good CGI either. It's
Because
the
when the
worst CGI ever.
it's just rough. It looks makes the xenomorph look more green. It takes you out of the movie. It ruins the horror aspect. But all the practical scenes with the xenomorph are phenomenal. Like they look great. It's a weirder, very skinny concept for a xenomorph. It's not one of my favorite designs for a xenomorph, especially for a sequel. But as a whole, like it's very I don't know. It's not the worst. It's not the worst thing in the world. And I think that the xenomorph has a lot to like offer in this movie, and it's just I don't know. It's kind of wasted on not adding anything and just being a retread.
So another thing, also, I think what they were trying to do, and it like backfired so bad in the practical. They were trying to get the design, like the skinniness, I think, of the xenomorph in Aliens, but put that look that they had in the first movie together, and it didn't mesh together.
It's very wiry. I think all the close-up shots are phenomenal. Like there's the iconic scene where like the xenomorph is like right beside Ripley's face, and it
I
like
did.
doesn't attack Ripley.
I've seen that still before. I didn't realize it was from this movie. I'm kind of
Yeah,
feel bad that
yeah.
that's the best scene from this movie.
And I think, like I said, like a lot of the close up practicals of the xenomorph are phenomenal. It looks great. It's very horrific. It's gross, but at the same time, it's not anything we haven't seen before. And I think a good example of like an alien movie, and this is very, decades wise, very different, but it's an example of a new way of seeing a xenomorph that you've never seen before is the way the xenomorphs are introduced in Covenant for the first time. It's very much like we're used to seeing a xenomorph and what we see out of it, but it's still a very new design. It's a new way of seeing it be born and created for the first time. And for me, as an audience member, that makes me interested, even though it's something I'm already familiar with. Versus Alien 3, I've already seen this, and this doesn't look better than it. So it's just very strange to like stick.
There,
I don't know. It's just a very weird choice that they made to balance between the two when they both options aren't better than what they've done before.
there's also one scene like the guy who was in the costume in the first Alien movie. You can't tell that there was a human being in that. There's literally one shot in this movie. It looks like the xenomorph thing's just a costume, like you buy from Amazon and you put on. And I'm like, that's where you went because they kind of feel like they were just like kind of like the fly by the seat of their pants.
Yeah. And I don't, it's just a weird movie because it starts off already telling you that it doesn't like what it set up. It retcons everything that they set up in Aliens. Hicks is dead. The kids is dead. Sigourney's got, I mean, not Ripley. Sorry, Ripley's got the xeno xenomorph that's gonna come out of her.
Can we please talk about that?
Bishop's dead.
Oh my!
Like it's just, it's a strange. I think there's a weird relationship between the alien and Ripley, and how people see the alien as like perfection. I think that's very interesting. But I also think, for example, it's something we've already seen done before, and it was done before better, like in the first movie with what's his name? That was the android. I'm blanking on his name right now. You know what I'm
Oh, I
talking about?
forgot. Yeah, I know who you're talking
And he
about.
does the monologue about the xenomorph being the perfect specimen. Why do we need to hear that again at the end with a knockoff bishop? Like it's just really annoying.
And and
Like
another thing
it's
for
like I
me,
said, it's just retreading the same thing we've already seen, but making it less interesting and worse. It made no sense to me. But on a positive note, I really think the set design and the look of the movie are phenomenal. I think it still looks good, like visually. I think a lot of the cinematography is really well done. The direction's really good. I like some of the one of the only new things introduced that I really liked was the first person perspective of the xenomorph that they kind of use that make to show how fast the xenomorph travels, and it creates an interesting like shot, one to look at, but two, it also gives you context to like how scary it is to run away from a xenomorph. I thought that was really cool
you know
that they
what's
added
funny?
that.
What about the only good stuff in this movie is Fincher's decisions?
Is
Because I
who?
could see Fincher's decisions in this movie. I could see him coming up with the POV aspect of the xenomorph.
Well,
And
that might
of
have been the
course,
DP too.
Fincher always kind of has a say, and that's probably the one thing that Fox gave him. And also, like, if you guys seen other Fincher movies, like you said, the cinematography and the set designs of any of his movies are great. Also, I think that's another great aspect in this.
And I also think, as weird of a movie as it is, I think Sigourney Weaver's performance is really solid in this movie. It's one of the only redeeming factors because she gives it her all, even when she's given weird choices and
Who
weird,
wrote this? I
yeah,
want to see
like
who
very
wrote this.
strange character motivations. She still is someone that is giving her all to the script and to her performance and to the character of Ripley. And it's just so, I don't know, it's just a weird story. And I think it's trying to it feels like it's trying to say a message on like corporations and a message on like what's really in like how much you can really be important in society, but it just doesn't really do that. It just kind of stops doing it. Like it doesn't I don't really know what it wants to say, you know?
So I was looking up. One of the writers is Walter Hill. Walter Hill wrote and directed The Warriors, and I heard The Warriors is good.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But he's one of the writers. The other writer in this, oh, he mostly has done nothing. Like all his credits except maybe Undisputed, but him and Walter Hill wrote that together, and Walter Hill directed that. But that looks like it averages a 2.9 on Letterboxd.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
So I don't know. But of course, he's also the producer for the rest of the Alien movies. The one with no writing credits. But
I need to look up the story because there's a massive like story behind the production of Alien 3, but I forgot
yeah,
like
but
the
Fincher
details
wants us
about
to
it.
because what? There's a director that has got his name off a project. I forgot who it was, and I think Fincher saw that, and Fincher wanted that. But Fox has said, "Oh yeah, we're never going to actually take your name off of this.
No, I mean
Like,
it is what it is.
like if we're stuck with it, you're stuck with it too."
Well, at this point, he's so successful in his career, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's just a project that was a project, and then he's made better projects and more
But
personal
if you
ones
look
since
through his
then.
whole filmography, like what was it? Fight Club's good. Gone Girl I heard's good. Seven I heard's good. I love The Social
Yeah,
Club.
Social Network.
Zodiac's good. Oh, Social no, not The Social Club. That's good. Zodiac's good. The Killer's good. Curious Cage of Benjamin Buttons I heard is good.
What was the movie with
Oh,
the
the Dragon Tattoo
Citizen
I heard
Kane
is good.
writer
The
Mank?
Game,
Mm-mm.
yeah, that's
Mank,
right.
yeah, Mank was good.
I heard that's good. I heard The Game was good. I heard Panic Room was good. The only bad movie is Alien 3.
Yeah, that's what, like, and it is what it is. I mean, at the same time, he was still given an opportunity to make an alien movie, and the look of it is phenomenal, and the direction of it's phenomenal. It's just the story and the choices for the characters and the choices for the prison. I also think it's just a weird movie and how it approaches, like, it shows Sigourney Weaver's power as a woman, but it also is just a strange movie with all of, like, the male characters in it. Like, I don't really want to know anybody in it. You know what I mean? Like, I know they're gonna die, and they're already weird dudes, and I just don't really care for them. Like, there's not really many redeeming factors outside of what's his name, the dude that helps her at the beginning of the movie
Oh,
that works
yeah, the
there.
Doctor.
Yeah, the doctor. Like,
Like
he's
he's
the
a well-known
only
actor.
and he was a good character in the movie that I actually really enjoyed
Oh,
seeing
the
on screen
Warden in this
and
movie, I
wanting to see.
absolutely hate.
And the Warden's terrible, and all the other people are so terrible that, like, and they're just very off-putting and weird that, like, I don't really
Only
care
person
to
besides
see
that
any
is
redeeming
that
things out of them.
the guy that is over like all the prisoners, like the preacher guy, Christian guy.
Yeah.
He's not that bad. He's probably the only prisoner that is actually redeemable.
But even then, like, he gets weird in the second half towards Sigourney Weaver and is, like, very, like, willing to go back and do what he did before kind of vibe. You know what I mean? And I don't know. For me, like, but part of me also knows he's gonna die. Like, I just don't like as an audience member because of what they did in Aliens and what they did at the beginning of the movie. Why would I care to invest any more into these new people when I know they're probably not going to matter?
Like
Like,
they literally retcon aliens. That's what they did.
well, they retcon aliens, but then they also that ruins me caring about anybody that I see the rest of the movie, and that's at the beginning of the movie. You see what I'm saying? And so, like, now I don't really care about any of the prisoners because of why would I? They might survive and then they just die later on off screen.
I
Like, it's
was
just
wondering
what's the
if
point?
Fox wanted to go back to the horror elements, and they're like kind of like retconning aliens because of course James Cameron directed that, and that was more action type. And they're like, oh yeah, if we could take everything out of what aliens was, do our own thing, oh yeah, we can get back to what really did. But you know what the problem is? One, you messed up right there. And two, you didn't have anything to do with Ridley in this. If you had something to do with Ridley in this, it probably would have been better.
Well, they apparently tried to get Ridley Scott to do it, but he didn't want to do a sequel. He was more interested in a prequel, and he was also busy at the time, supposedly, like his schedule. So he didn't want to do that until he felt confident in it. So when he did Prometheus is when he was like, I want to start doing the prequel to Alien. But prior to that, he didn't want to do 3 because of that. And I don't know. It's one of those.
Or at least he Cameron back.
It's just a strange movie. Like you just watch it and you're like, why am I here? Like, why did y'all decide to do this? Like, this is the idea that you put millions of dollars into. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like a draft of a script that you would think they would be like, nah, let's go back and make another version. And they were just like, nah, let's just go with it.
Because the perfect saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But like it's just strange because financially you think they would go with a sequel that would be more keen to Aliens because of how successful Aliens was in switching the genre and still making more money than Alien.
And I wonder if that's what Fincher thought.
Well, also I don't know. There was just a lot of weird decisions made, and it was a very made for money movie that I think that even the creators originally didn't intend for that. It said that the writers of Aliens were contacted about Alien 3 and were hesitant because they felt like they wanted to make it something that had something new to offer, but also held up to the same standard and quality as Aliens. And the new one and Alien 3 did not do that. Even when certain aspects of it are still good, it just isn't even close.
The other thing I really like in this is the practical effects.
Yeah, I think the practical effects are really good. I think the set design's really good. I really like Ripley's design as a character. It's very rough, it's very industrial. Like I love that kind of look. And I think they pull it off really well here, especially considering that that's kind of the vibe they've been going for, at least with like the first movie. And I feel like this movie, because of being a prison, they really go all in on that. But that's about all my positives, you know.
Okay, so I can. So in the first movie, the only violence you mostly get is the guy when he gets the chest burster scene. Aliens didn't have that much violence, and you know this is going to be violent once you get to the first prisoner when he dies because of the xenomorph. Because I'm like, okay, this is going to be off screen death of when he gets in the fan. And no, you just see him just like get shredded in that fan.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shoot, or like when the xenomorph is born out of the dog.
That's another.
That made me like gag. I was like, nah.
No. Actually, I'm kind of like fuck you because it's showing like you're killing an animal, and here's this poor dog, and that's the thing I don't get. That's another thing. Xenomorphs in the last 2 movies have been made out of humans, and you want to do a dog for this damn movie, and you can see it because the
It's definitely
xenomorph
like an
they said
interesting
is so
choice.
much different. Like Ripley said when she first sees it, this xenomorph is so different than the other ones I've had contact with, and it's because his DNA is made from a dog, not a human being.
Which I guess adds a new element to it, but it's not enough to differentiate it from the other aliens that much. You know what I mean? Like it still looks like the xenomorph from the first and second movie. Like I felt like if they went with the dog idea like they did, maybe like a new redesign, maybe added elements, missing elements, something to relate. You know what I mean? Just other aspects, but it just kind of went with the same design and the don't if it's not broke, don't fix it mentality, which is I mean, it still looks all right, but like I said, they just don't really. It's a very safe movie. They don't really try to swing for the fences.
And can we talk about the Ripley, like the twisting of Ripley having the chest buster actually in her than what she thought was Newt? I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm like, bro, really? I'm like, that's where it went. I'm like, I thought this was a dream, and they set it up in the beginning like if it's actually Newt.
But then I don't know. I kind of get the vibe that she was like they're gonna set up something for her bad to happen because the beginning of the movie has the face hugger get on her face.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, it's too late. Like she's gonna die, like at some point.
To be honest with you, if they just done a trilogy with this,
I
they screwed it up so bad because you had the first two movies were actually damn great sci-fi horror movies, and then you bring this one out, and it's like kind of like with Maxine recently, like with the X trilogy, like you had really two good movies, and Maxine's not as bad as Aliens 3 is, but it's like a letdown. But it's like you literally went to, like, for me, two 5-star movies, and you came out with this piece of crap.
Yeah, I heard mixed things on Maxine. I need to still watch it, but I just you're gonna love 4 because it's awful. It's fun though. It's fun because of how bad it is. This is just hard. This is just boring. Like it's just that's kind of how I feel
Like,
about.
this was so bad, I kind of wanted to turn off and just look up, like, what the plot was so we could do this episode. That's
Well,
how
like,
bad I wanted to turn this thing off.
and I think one last thing I really want to talk about that annoyed me is we get to actually see the company at the end. We get to see like the representatives of the company come and like Bishop, and they're like trying to get the xenomorph. And I don't like that. I like that the first two movies kind of the outline is the company, but we don't really get to see them.
They, like, force
'Cause-
fed you everything that they mentioned in the first two movies.
Yeah, and they repeat a lot of stuff, but like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things that just really holds the movie down. And I don't know. It's just a mess of a movie overall. I got nothing else to say.
Me either. I kind of want to quit talking about this movie. Makes me so mad, especially
So
like after I said I love those first two movies, and this one was just it was not a love letter like to Alien fans at all. This is just like spit right in your face.
yeah, it's definitely like one of those like harsh. Like I couldn't have imagined being there to see it in theaters and be like, what happened? You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I
it's
bet you it was packed going like opening day, and then when people see this, it's like, what the fuck did I
and
just
then
watch?
everybody knows after that. It's like, don't go see Alien 3.
So let's go. I'm going to ask you, what do you think Alien 3's Rotten Tomatoes score is?
I'm gonna say it's like a 43.
Okay, that's for critics. What about audience?
Like a 37.
So for the critics, it's 47.
Wait, what did I say?
You said 43.
Oh,
You
I
were
was
you were 4 off.
close.
For audience, it's
Oh.
46.
At least it's consistent.
So Alien 3. What do you think the box office total was for this?
Um, I don't really know. I'm trying to think of context to 1992. I don't know, probably like 30, 40 million.
So this one made 159.8 million. But you remember,
Okay.
you gotta think, like I was saying, everyone's going to see this opening weekend.
Yeah, post aliens, people are, yeah, that makes sense.
So it made the money back. That's the problem. It made so much money. They wanted to.
Well, did it turn a profit?
Yeah, actually did make a profit.
But like how much of a
I
profit?
think it's like 30 to 20 million.
Ooh, that's still not an amazing profit.
That's probably
Es-
why Alien
Especially when
Resurrection is the
aliens,
worst.
how much money did aliens make?
Oh, like 100, like this much to 183.
Yeah, it made, yeah, like
But you gotta think that's the
183.
88s also.
Yeah, but
Like the
that's
years.
still I don't know. It's within 10 years of the movie though. Like both sequels. This thing is so annoying. I'm trying to find the actual like budget. Yeah, like the budget for Aliens was 18 million and it made 180. And so
So
for 3 to make only 30 million was a massive loss compared to what they were expecting from 2.
let me look at this. So speaking of Oscars, this actually did get a nomination.
It did?
Yes.
For what?
Best effects, visual effects. For what though? Are you talking about like the set design and that stuff? Because they used mostly CGI in this for the xenomorph. Yeah, I'm thinking of like what you are right now.
So do you come here often?
Sammy, what's your rating in Alien 3?
Um like a 2.
Oh, let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Oh, this is gonna be
I need to
hard.
rewatch Prometheus and Covenant. I liked those movies.
Oh, so the factors. Let me think of the factors I like. So I like the practical effects, the set design, Sigourney Weaver's performance. I'm going to give this. I'm gonna give this 1.5 stars.
All right. Lower than
This
me,
is.
but yeah, that's pretty
I was
good.
thinking 1, but it's like
I think there's worse movies than Alien 3, but it's still not a good movie.
But if you, I'm gonna give it 1.5 right now, because if you say 4 is worse, I gotta see how much worse it is.
4 is
I
terrible.
might change my rating down to 1 star. Depends how 4 is.
4 is one of those movies that it makes no sense why it exists. Like there's no defense for why it exists, and it just absolutely I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all why it was created.
But you know what's sad? I give Alien and Aliens 5 stars. You go from 5 stars to both your first two movies, then down to 1.5. That's when you know you didn't make a good movie.
Yeah,
And you know I
that is
am
true.
generous. I am generous on my ratings. And this shit deserved 1.5 stars. 1.5 might be generous, like I told you guys. It could be a 1 star. But I'm just being generous right now and seeing how Aliens 4 is.
It's weirdly Aliens 4 made more money than 3, but it's not a good movie.
You wanna know why it is? Winona Ryder also.
It's who?
Winona Ryder's in it.
Oh yeah. But also I don't it's a rough movie. It's rough.
But guys, I think that is it for Aliens or Alien 3. Um yes, this movie's terrible. That's what I'm just going like now you guys, I'm going to recommend
Don't
you
watch it.
not to watch this movie.
You
Watch
need to
one,
go home and not
watch
watch this.
Alien, watch Aliens. We're gonna get to the prequels. I've been hearing some great things about the prequels. But guys, with that being said, when you for our Cinematic Boys podcast episode this week, upcoming, yeah, our upcoming episode. I really messed up right there.
You
Um,
got it.
Me and Bilal will be doing our review on Trap, the latest movie from M. Night Shyamalan. And I think I'm gonna be doing a little review on All My Friends Are Dead, the upcoming movie from Marcus Dunstan, which that movie's actually pretty good. I already seen it. It's actually pretty good. Just a little
Excited to hear
tease.
about it.
Then for our Cinematic Boys reviews episode next week, it's gonna be Alien 4, which is Alien Resurrection, which I'm having a feeling now. Every movie that puts Resurrection in the title is awful. But guys, with that being said, when you hear me next time, it's gonna be for episode 27 of the Cinematic Boys podcast. And to be honest, I don't know what Sammy's gonna be on next time.
Most likely Alien Resurrections. So
okay. If not, we can get you on for our double. So, guys, I'm gonna just put this out right now. We're gonna do a double episode, kind of like how we did with the Raid 1 and 2, and the Twister and Twisters. We're gonna do Covenant and Prometheus together.
Oh, that'd be a cool episode. I'm excited for that.
So hopefully you can be on that episode also.
For sure.
But guys, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great. Oh no! But first, before that, actually, if you guys are watching this for the first time, what's up, guys? Hit that like button if you guys haven't yet, and also hit that subscribe button. We're up to 25 subscribers right now, and I'm really appreciative for all you guys that have subscribed to us and have sticked around with us. And also, if you guys are listening to the podcast via audio from Spotify or Apple, give us a rating. And also, if you haven't yet, hit that follow button. But also follow our social medias right above, our TikTok, Twitter, and Insta. We got 500 followers right now on TikTok, so we're trying to get to the 1K mark so we could get do some lives and stuff with you guys. But guys, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.